Dear viewer, good evening and welcome to Current Issue. With me tonight, Oakland County Executive David Coulter. David, welcome to MEA.
Well, it is a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you.
Thank you. David, let's look at Oakland County.
Yeah.
There's so many different ethnic minority, and they all working together. There is no discrimination, and in every department you see different ethnic minority and all that. Tell me how you deal with the diversity and inclusion for Oakland County.
That is a wonderful question because, well, first of all, for your audience who doesn't know, Oakland County is right next to the city of Detroit, right? It's a big suburban county, right next to Detroit. It's a pretty wealthy county. It's a prosperous county.
And it's in Michigan, and one time Oakland County was the richest county in America.
At one time it was, and it's a very large county. I don't know if you know this, Wally, but population-wise, it's bigger than 9 states.
How many municipalities do you have?
About 1.3 million people here.
Wow.
So it's a lot of folks, and as you said, and to your question, very diverse. Right? A lot of people from the Middle East, a lot of Asians here.
Latino, Jewish,
Jewish. And LGBT, and just
absolutely,
because if you're attracted to a good quality of life, and that's what we sort of sell about Oakland County. We have nice neighborhoods, good schools, safe communities, beautiful parks,
and they
good
care
jobs,
about us. They care about
and people care about their communities, and so that attracts a lot of different kinds of folks, and we're happy about that. So over the years, it's become much more diverse, and in fact, this is an interesting statistic. Every 10 years in America, they do the census, right? And you figure out how many people you got. And over the last 10 years, Oakland County has grown a little bit. Not enough. We want it to grow more.
That's right,
But it wouldn't have grown at all if it hadn't have been for foreign-born residents, people who came here from somewhere else.
That's right.
So these are folks who are helping us grow. They're contributing to our communities, and it's really been wonderful. And every year we get a little bit more diverse, and we just all sorts of folks. And so one of the things that I've tried to do as the county executive. Now, if you don't know what a county executive is, because not everybody has a county executive.
Exactly.
But it's sort of like a mayor for a city, except you're the mayor for the county.
For the whole county.
For the whole county.
Yes.
So one of the things I did, Wally, when I first came on, this is my 4th year now.
Yes.
So when I first came on, is I created a new position for diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yes.
And we hired a gentleman to do that. Because
that's excellent.
It is so.
Because we are all kind of minority there.
Yeah.
And we have to respect every single one of them.
You do, and because I was born in this country, I'm a white male, I don't know everyone else's experience. So one of the things that this person is able to do is say, I know that you want to do this program, but have you thought about it from the perspective of someone from the Middle East, or a black resident,
which is different culture, the way they act different. Yes,
they're going to receive. They're going to receive this differently. So let's think about this in a way where it works for everybody, and not just for people who look like me. And so that's his job, and it's really been successful. I'm very proud of that.
And we have the director of the census for the United States. We have him in D.C., and we ask him about putting a box. Because there's everything except for either Middle Eastern or Arab, or, and they are talking for 2030 to do that.
I hope they do.
Yeah, they hope. And you know what? He's a Latino, and he's part of the.
So he understands the need.
The mosaic of all the ethnic minorities we have.
That's right. That's right.
There is a lot of Middle Eastern living, and we're gonna come to the business and road and all that. But because we talk about the ethnic minority and all that, there is a lot of Middle Eastern, there's the Chaldean, there's the Lebanese, there's the Egyptian, there's the Syrian, living in Oakland County. That's right. And honestly, a lot of time you go to the school or event, and you see many different ethnic minority. They all get together there.
You do.
And that's a beautiful mosaic.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not perfect. There are, unfortunately, recently in America, there's been a little bit more of the bad language and things, but so it's not perfect, but I would say that by and large, when you come to a community in Oakland County, they're diverse. People, people support each other, welcome each other. We officially became what there is called a welcoming county when I became executive. So
Excellent.
so there's a whole program around it because we want everyone to know that no matter what community you choose in Oakland County, you're welcome here. I mean, we want you to play by the rules and get a good job and raise your family and do all the right things. But if you do that, you are welcome here, and we have a place for you, and we're happy that you're here.
Great. Is that your message to the Middle Eastern outside Michigan, that if they want to move to Michigan, Oakland County, open their heart to them?
That's absolutely right. You know, as you know.
And we have a lot of, they want to move here because the culture is here.
That's right.
You know, people live in Florida, in Nashville, and, you know, Colorado.
Yeah.
There is no culture.
Right.
He comes here, and it's all the food. And
it's all here, as you know,
Yeah.
because there's so many Middle Easterners in Southeast Michigan.
Yes.
I mean, there's parts of Dearborn where you think you might be in the Middle East, which is wonderful, the smells and the
Sure.
sights and the sounds.
Yeah.
Here in Oakland County, we have, as you know, a very large Chaldean population.
Absolutely.
And they have been very successful here
Yeah.
and very welcomed here. And I think they would tell you, if you have relatives or friends in the Metro Detroit region, I think they would tell you that that by and large, this is a welcoming place for you, and that we'd be happy to have you here.
Absolutely. Beside the resident, we have a lot of business, Middle Eastern business in Oakland County. And thanks, they're doing very good.
Yes.
What's your vision to promote more business to come to Oakland County?
Yeah.
Especially the small business.
That's
and then
right.
we'll talk about the big corporation.
You know, Oakland County is known really in Michigan as the economic engine of the state.
Yes.
More jobs are created here, more businesses are located here of all kinds, right? And we celebrate when a large company comes. General Motors just made a $4 billion investment in Oakland County, so
Yes,
it was
great.
huge, and we celebrate that, and I love it. But the reality, Wally, as you said, is that over 90% of our businesses are small businesses.
Yes.
They are the backbone of what we do. They make Oakland County successful.
Yes.
And so one of the things that I believe very strongly, and one of the things that I did when I took over this job, is we created a program called Oakland Thrive. Okay? And they have their own website. So if you're interested in this, if you own a small business in Oakland County, or you're thinking about opening a small business in Oakland County, oaklandthrive.com, you can go to it. And they have a team of professionals who are specially trained and totally focused on our small businesses. So whatever kind of help you might need, if it's marketing, if it's financial, capital, if it's social media, how to sell your products on, on Amazon, if it's whatever your issues may be, they have trained business counselors to help you. And we did that because we know how important those small businesses are, and we want you to succeed. And frankly, we want you to grow and stay here and hire more people and bring more people here. And that's part of how we've been successful. So through that team, we have really made an effort. And one other thing I'll tell you, Wally, about that is we're going into communities that we haven't always gone to. So once again, we're not just looking at people to open a business that look like me. We're going to go in communities and reach out to ethnic communities, women, other communities, black communities, Middle Eastern communities, veterans, and the like, people who haven't always felt like they had these resources. And we're making a special effort to reach those communities and make sure that they know we're here to help.
And you mentioned, in one time, it was difficult to have this. You know, you mentioned the white and all that, and no respect for a lot of ethnic minorities or gay or other, We still have some radical promoting this, but we shouldn't give them any attention, because if we give them attention, that means they are right. So, okay. As you know, the business, when it comes to any place, they look for safety, and in your case is the county, and what can they do for them? Safety, thanks God, Oakland County, I think we are the most county that's very stable, very safety. Would you give them more incentive if they want to come and get, for example, to open something and they need a license or they need an inspection and all that? Is Oakland County easy with that?
We try to be as easy as possible, right?
Yes, because that's important for business to come.
Yes, and especially ethnic and other minority businesses who maybe are not used to that process, right?
Yes.
And so we try through our Oakland Thrive team to help make that, we like to call it the one-stop shop. If you come there,
yes,
we'll help you with all of the steps that you need.
That's great.
From your license to your leases to your capital to all of the things, and even to help you get employees if you need that, because we run the workforce program in Oakland County. It's called
let's talk about that, because that's my next question.
Yeah.
You know, you've been promoting the education, you've been promoting Macomb County, Oakland County, Oakland University, Lawrence Tech, and I hear and Tariq Sabahi was here from Lawrence Tech, and he mentioned that.
Yes.
You know, they have. Tell me more about it.
So here's what we know. It is really hard, not impossible, but it's really difficult to make enough money in your lifetime if you don't have something beyond a high school diploma.
That's right.
Right? I mean, maybe you can open a store and maybe you can make it like that, but
these
more
things
and
of the
more,
past, you know.
You need training. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be a 4-year degree, but you need more education than just a high school diploma. So we know that the statistics show that you'll make a lot more money over the course of your lifetime and be able to raise a family at a much better standard if you get more education and training. So we are committed to helping people get that. And so we have a program in Oakland County that we call Oakland 80.
80, yes.
And the reason we picked 80 is this. 60%, about when I took over in office, about 60% of our residents had something beyond high school, some kind of training or certification.
Training school and, you know.
Trade school, whatever it might be, 60%, which means 40%, that's all they had. They're going to get left behind.
And that's when we lost Amazon when they came, and that was the reason they didn't.
They said we need educated people. That's
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So I brought together. You mentioned the universities and the colleges. I brought together the leaders of all of those. Ora Pescovich from Oakland University, the Lawrence Tech, the Baker College, all of them, and the trades, and all the other ones. And we brought them together, and we said, look, here we are. We're 61%. What can we do together to make that higher?
Okay.
And they started talking. Boy, I like when smart people get together and start talking, because that's not my expertise, but I like when they get together. So we had a wonderful conversation, several conversations actually, and they said to me this. They said, Mr. Executive, if the county is willing to support us and maybe put some money behind it and really do this in a real way, we think that by the year 2030, we can get to 80%. We can 80%.
That's great.
I said, okay, I'm in. We will support you, and that's our goal. So that's our goal now in Oakland County, to get to 80% of our residents with something beyond a high school diploma. And guess what? We've been at it for 4 years. We're at 67%. We went from 61 to 67.
Excellent. We are in a way.
So I've got 7 more years to get to 80, but that's our goal.
Great.
Not for us, but for the families, so that they can get better wages and have a better life.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the road. We have Mark Hackle here, and he went to Washington. He got some grant money, and they doing the mound and all that. And our governor, which she's doing a great job. Okay, she came and she said the damn road.
Yeah.
But nobody gave her $1 from Washington.
That's right.
Thanks God now she's got some fund. And everywhere you go, you see construction.
Yeah.
How are we doing in Oakland County?
We're doing okay, but we can do better. One of our biggest projects going on right now in terms of the roads is right outside your offices. It's Interstate I-75. I-75 goes from northern Michigan to southern Florida, if you don't know it. A major highway.
Yes.
And it's under construction right now, as you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're fixing that one, right, with some federal funds. But our roads are still in tough shape. I'm not going to lie about that. We need to do a lot more. We have a road commission in Oakland County, but we can only fix as many roads as the state and the federal government give us the dollars to do.
Absolutely.
So we need more money. I mean,
we got some money now.
We are.
Thanks God, we got some money. Yeah.
It's gotten better.
Yeah.
The governor,
Getting better.
even though the legislature didn't give the governor any money, not too much money for it, she found some money.
Yes.
She's investing in the roads. President Biden has passed the infrastructure bill, which put hundreds of billions of dollars into infrastructure.
And millions of new jobs.
And the jobs that go with them.
Exactly.
So I'm in favor of all of that. And we're trying to fix them as well as we can. But it's tougher in Michigan because we have winter. And winter is tougher on the roads than if you were in a southern state. But we're working on it. And we're getting there.
I mean, you know what? When you travel just past Michigan, Florida, Ohio, or and you see the road completely different that we are here. Why that we every 2-3 years we have to fix the same thing we done 3 years ago?
I don't want to get political about
No,
it. But I'm a politician also.
Yes.
If it was me, we'd have been doing this 10 years ago. But we had a legislature and a governor that they were trying to cut taxes and reduce spending and all that stuff. And I get it. Nobody likes to pay taxes. But at the end of the day, the only way to fix roads is to pay for it.
That's important too.
They took, in my view, they took about 10 years off and said, no, we're gonna lower the taxes and we're not gonna spend so much. And it put us behind. Ohio, for instance, the last 10 years they've been working on their roads like crazy, and now they're almost done. We are just catching up because we didn't make those investments a decade ago, in my opinion.
I see. The COVID was hard for everybody, but it create a problem. And what's the main problem? For business, a lot of them close. There's no business, they close and all that.
That's right.
And then at home, the kids should be in the school playing with their friend. They are at home. The parents, some of them laid off or lost job, started drinking and all that. So we create a problem when we create a mental health. First, tell me about the businesses that they got hurt for the COVID. What Oakland County did for them.
So right away, when we got the money from the federal government, that was the CARES Act back then. We got out quickly, like faster than I ever thought we could do it. We got out money, checks to our small businesses. We said, look, we know you don't have customers. We know you got to pay the rent. We know you got to pay your employees. We want you to stay open. And we gave grants to our small businesses.
Great.
And that went on for the first year of COVID, right? And so for a lot, some businesses went out, but most of them were able to at least pay the rent
to survive
and survive.
Yeah, which is now doing good because they would survive that time.
Because we wanted them to survive. And so that's what we did, and we gave those grants out. Then we got, then the first year was over, and we got another stash of money from the federal government, and that would be the American Rescue Plan dollars, ARPA as it calls. And we had another round of grants for small businesses because we knew things are getting better, but they're not where they need to be. So we did that, but we did a couple of other things too. For our manufacturing companies, we have a lot of small manufacturing companies that make things, and they were really struggling. And so
did something to help those?
We did something really unique for them.
Go ahead.
The world of manufacturing is changing, right? It's global, it's competitive, and we've lost a lot of manufacturing to other countries. But one of the ways we're going to get it back is actually really simple. 3D printers, and people say, what do you mean? You mean, 3D printers can make almost anything.
From medical to everything, from A to Z.
So during COVID, for instance, we gave out 250 3D printers to manufacturers, and we said, we need you to help us make PPE, masks, and shields, and vests, and the things that we needed for COVID. These machines just spit them out. They make them like nothing, and cheaper than you could make it ordinarily, and faster.
And keep the worker.
And keep the work here. So they were like, wow, this is really interesting. And then what they realized when COVID sort of was now, we don't need the PPE anymore, they said, wait, maybe I could start making some of my parts on it. So these companies started making things. And let me just give you one example. I was at a company that they make fasteners, so clips. Okay? And it used to, these fasteners, they're kind of complicated, and they're pretty sophisticated. And they were, I'm trying to remember how much they were originally. I'm looking at my guy over here. About $90 a clip, because these are important clips. They put them on these. They figured out how to make these clips on a 3D printer, and now they're making them for under $10.
Wow!
Under $10. They said, and they're making them faster. And it only takes one person to run a 3D printer. So what I'm saying is, 3D advanced manufacturing is the future. If we're going to keep our manufacturing businesses open and successful, they need to adapt and learn this technology. And so we're helping them do it. So we just launched a new program where we're going to get hundreds and hundreds more of these 3D printers out to our manufacturers because we want to keep them alive too.
You know, this is honestly an example of a city and of county working together with the business people in the community to make it grow. And that's one of the examples. Again, the COVID create a problem is the mental health problem.
Big time.
I asked Mark Hackle. Till now, they don't have no mental health facility. They're gonna get soon, but no, they have about 30 million for the jail. And we need the community. Okay, White County, we talk, and they have sanctuary, and they advertise with us for Oakland County. Oakland County. Did they have mental health facility? Did they have something that somebody? And don't forget, the Middle Eastern community, sometimes they have the pride and they keep it to themselves. And that's bad. That's very bad.
That's right.
But tell me and guide me where they should go. Do we have it?
Yes, we do. We've made huge investments in mental health because it is so important.
So important.
But I want to start with that point that you made because, yes, I know that is more, that fear or stigma of saying I need help is in the Middle East community, but it's in a lot of communities. Before COVID, people were too embarrassed to do it. I think one of the things that COVID has shown us is it can happen to anyone.
That's right.
Any community, any ethnicity, any race,
and if you get any
color,
help, that's the taxes you pay for that.
That's exactly right.
So you don't shy from it.
So we leaned in some really serious ways. You mentioned the kids earlier, but in the schools, oh my goodness, they were really. So we put counselors in the schools for the kids. We paid to have mental health counselors in all of our schools, so that if a child was having trouble, they had someone that they could talk to and work through their problems with. We have a wonderful group of nonprofit mental health providers in Oakland County. It's a there's a lot of providers, but they were swamped and they didn't have enough people. So we gave $40 million in grants to those so they could see more people.
Those organizations to do that.
Those organizations.
Yes, okay.
$40 million, all for those folks. And then one more thing. We did so many things in this space, but to your point, sometimes there might not be a place nearby, or it might not be open, or you call and you can't get an appointment for 2 weeks. Well, if you're having a mental health crisis, you can't wait 2 weeks.
That's right.
So we're spending.
And we see all the kids killing and all that. It's all from mental health.
That's right. So we're opening up a clinic in Pontiac.
Good.
And it's going to be 24/7, open day and night.
Okay.
An integrated health clinic, we're saying. So it could be for mental health, for physical health, but if you have a mental health issue and you need
just
to
like
see
the one in Wayne County.
somebody now, you're going to be able to go to Pontiac.
Yes.
We put $5 million into it, but we got millions of dollars from the state to help us as well.
Good, very
and
good.
the old Pontiac General Hospital, for people who know it, it's on Huron Street in Pontiac. Soon, we're constructing it now. It's going to soon be available 24/7, so that when you're having an issue, or your child, or your family member, you will have a place to go anytime, day or night.
Well, we are ready to promote it and let the community knows about it.
Thank you.
Mr. Coulter, another problem we have is the drugs. A lot of our young people, I know because I get involved, but majority they don't know. And when you hear 18 years, 20 years die, 30 years die, a guy, he had 1 year to finish to be a doctor. In the front of CVS in a car, he took the drugs and died. What Oakland County doing to go after those people who bring the drugs to kill our children?
Well, a couple of things, and what you're referring to is the law enforcement side, which our sheriff, Mike Bouchard, and
doing a great job.
Are doing a really nice job.
Absolutely.
Not only of trying to track down the drug, the drug peddlers, if you will, but what the real danger now is this fentanyl, right? That's the difference. The drugs are the same, as when we were younger.
Has worse effect than that.
But people were dying though, because now they're being laced with fentanyl, and that's the killer. And we have got to track down.
And
so
I know
Mike Bouchard
doing a great job.
He's on a national program.
Is he working with other law enforcement like the FBI, the state police, and all that?
Yeah, he is on a national panel. I think he's the chair of it this year, working with the national law enforcement agencies to try to track this down from the border till it gets to Michigan, till it gets to Oakland County. we are working our hardest to track that down and get those drugs, especially the fentanyl, out of the hands of the bad guys before it can get into the bodies of our residents, because it's killing people in a way that it never did.
I mean,
but the other thing,
especially those student educated, they take it because they want to, stay all night studying and all that.
That's right.
End up dying.
Yeah. I mean, lots of young people experiment with drugs when they're young, and then they outgrow it, and then it's just something they did in their youth.
That's right.
The difference now is they're experimenting, and this fentanyl is killing them. They're not drug addicts per se in the way that we used to think about it. But this drug is so strong. It's so strong. And parents, you have to talk to your kids about it and let them know that the drugs today are so much stronger and deadlier than they've ever been.
There's in Wayne County, they started with one vending machine for something to,
Narcan.
Exactly.
Yes.
Do we have it in Oakland? Tell me about it.
The same vending machines.
Yeah.
So we have vending machines in our health clinics, and we're also helping to put them around the county.
Good.
Narcan is the device you can use that can help someone who's in an overdose situation, right?
Exactly.
You can use the Narcan on them, and it'll stop an overdose. Very effective.
Yes, I heard about it. Yeah.
And now you can get them in the drugstores. You can get them at Rite Aid and
Oh,
CVS.
you could get them in Rite Aid and all
that.
that?
You can now buy Narcan
Oh,
in those
that's
places.
good. Yeah.
But if you can't
Is
afford it,
the price is okay?
yes,
Okay.
it is. But maybe if it's a little expensive for you, we'll give it to you for free. So you can call Oakland County, our health department, and you can get Narcan for free. If you suspect that somebody in your family or a friend could be at risk of having an overdose, I would encourage you to reach out to us. We can get you Narcan, but you can also purchase it and have it in the house. Just have it handy so that if something happens, you can save that person's life.
And again, I ask the community to be open. This is not something that you want to hide it because you have a pride and all that. No, that's affecting your children.
It can happen to anyone, and it could be your children, and it's not their fault. Yes, they might have experimented with something because they're young or because whatever, but it's the fentanyl that's killing them. It's not that they're bad kids. It's just that we've got some bad drugs out there that are doing some really bad things.
Yes. David, you've been with the community for a long time. You were a friend deal in the middle of the community. In Oakland County, and I see you whenever I go to an event. I see David there, and I come and say hi to you. Tell me, let's talk about the Middle Eastern.
Okay.
With all the respect to all ethnic minority, of course.
That's fine.
How you see them, and you've been with them more than 10 years. When you start and now, what do you see the difference, and what do you like to see more different?
Well, first of all, I'll just be frank. I grew up in a neighborhood that didn't have a lot of Middle Easterners in it.
But we were the mayor of Ferndale.
Because I was the mayor of Ferndale, but I didn't grow up in Ferndale. I grew up in Macomb County, in St. Clair Shores, so that's the county next to Oakland. And it wasn't a very diverse neighborhood. It wasn't. It was mostly an Italian. I was diverse because I was an Irish person in an Italian neighborhood. The neighborhood was Italian. I was Irish. So I didn't know, but I have come to learn because I have friends, particularly from Dearborn and Hamtramck and other places that when I was younger, those were the heart and soul, and still to some degree are. So I have come to learn and love about the culture. The first thing I love is the food. I mean,
the food is.
I'm Irish. Our food is not so good. Your food is so much better. So much better. So I have learned over the years more and more about the Middle East community. But I'll tell you what I really appreciate now is sometimes I find that longtime Americans who have been here for generations, we take for granted how wonderful this country is, the opportunity that's here, the freedoms that we have.
Look around the world, what happened?
We take advantage. We take it for granted. One of the things that's been so impressive to me is when I meet people from the Middle East, especially people who grew up there and are now here. They have an appreciation for the opportunity that's here that they couldn't have where they came from because it wasn't safe, or they weren't respected, or there was a war, or for whatever reason.
Suffering.
They got here, and they have a love for this country.
They are, believe me.
And what it means in a way that I think sometimes other Americans they take for granted because it's always been that way. And they want it to be better, and I get that. We all want this country to be better, but sometimes we forget just how great it really is. And the folks I've met from the Middle East, you don't have to persuade them that this is a great country. They already understand.
Absolutely.
They know it.
Absolutely.
They know it.
And David, I travel a lot. And believe me, when I get to US, I said, thanks God, I'm home. You know, because I seen the huge difference, you know. And that's just travel, you know. Yeah. Well, David, thank you so much for coming here, for give us all that information. And I hope that information will encourage a lot of people from different states to come here. A lot of students, when they come, they don't know where to go, but they accept in Colorado, Nashville, Florida, okay? And when they see the culture in Michigan and they see how the other ethnic minority working together, no discrimination, they will love to come here. And you mentioned the food.
And the food.
So I honestly, that's invitation from you, and I heard it many times for them to come live here and do business here.
That's right.
Yeah. So thank you for all that.
Wally, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Dear viewer, that was my interview with David Coulter, Oakland County Executive. I've been living in Oakland County for 40 years, 50 years, 50 years. I came here in 1973, you know, and all my life been in Oakland County. There is no county like Oakland County. With the people, and I live in an area, there was the Jewish, there was the Italian, there was the African American, and we all worked together. And our children, they went to school, and they were all working together. And honestly, in the past, COVID came, and a lot of things happened, but thanks God to the county executive. Thanks God to the county executive, David Coulter. He worked with the business, he worked with the family, he helped the business, he helped the family, he opened Oakland County to all the citizens of Oakland County. And honestly, I seen it myself. If there was different administration, would be completely different. So we thank him for that. And please, whenever you see him, go and shake his hand and tell him, thank you for the great business. Thank you for coming to our event, understanding our culture, understanding our issue. So it'll be easy for you to deal with. And again, not just that, but his admiration is reflecting the community, which is all the ethnic minority part of your administration. And we thank you so much for that. Thanks for watching, and good night.